Welcome everybody. Happy Wednesday. And my thought for you is simply that when we are in that state of unknown, state of uncertain, is the greatest thing that we can remember is that if we live by results, we're going to suffer, right? Whatever it is that we do. So yoga has this great thing of saying that whatever your actions in the world are, you give up your right to the results. Right? That you have the ability to do what you do with the greatest intention, the greatest heart, the greatest desire, and then you can do it as skillfully as possible. And then you have to let go. And the letting go is where we stay in that state of freedom, because if our minds are continuously gripping into that feeling of, I have to get what I wanted from my efforts, it has to turn out the way that I want it to be, then that's what creates that cycle of suffering, because we're either going to be incredibly excited and then we embed ourselves more in that feeling that I just have to keep making things the way that I want it to be, right? I stay with my expectations, or we get incredibly disappointed and we get incredibly we lose our faith in the meaning of what we're doing day to day. So yoga is always asking us to stay in that state of mind that's in between, right? That says, don't get caught up in this is the way that I really want it to be, or this is the way I really don't want it to be. Because the work that you're doing in your life is every day, and it's not going to stop regardless of what the results of this one particular event or any particular event are, right? The work of your life continues moment by moment, day after day. And what is the work of that of your life, as yoga says, is it's that you're always bringing yourself back to how can I skillfully, again, do what I can in the world to create that feeling of peace, to create that experience of goodness or joy or relieving suffering, whatever it is that's in you to do, that you are doing, is how can I do that skillfully and also know that it's never ending, right? So events will happen that are exactly the way that you want them to be, and you'll be excited about that. And then things will happen that are exactly the way you don't want them to be. And the work doesn't change, right? What's in you to do every day doesn't change. And that is to watch your own mind and let your heart stay open and keep meeting the world, again, as completely as you can, whatever the state of it. You meet the world as completely as you can, and you do your work and let go of the results. So I know that's not what any of you want to hear. And your brains are like, but this, I know. And this is the work that we have to do, is keep letting your mind soften around that. Not that it's going to go away completely, the desire to just know so that you can move forward, knowing kind of what the ground underneath you is. But that's not what the practice is. The practice is being in the state where we don't know and being okay anyway. So that's the goal for today, is to just be okay with not knowing, right? So let go of the results. You'll know eventually. Let the eyes close. And even if you don't know, again, your work doesn't change, right? What's meaningful in your life to do doesn't change. You're still going to get up tomorrow and do it. And if that's true, then you can do it under any circumstances, even if they suck. It's not what you want. You're still going to do your work. So have faith in that you're still going to get up and do your work. Come into your breath and get out of your mind. Just get out of it, because there's going to be no reasoning with it, right? That's very much the practice of meditation or yoga in general, is to just get out of your mind. You're not stuck in it. So find your breath. And settle, because in this next hour or so, again, the fate of your world is not being determined. Right? The fate of your experience is determined by your heart. It's determined by what's happening inside of you, not what happens on the outside. What's on the outside just determines whether you think it's easier or more difficult to do your work. So breathe into that internal place of strength that says, whatever I need to complete the work that I have to do in this lifetime, I have it. Whether it's easy or it's hard, I have what I need. And if I know I have what I need, then I know that that can't ever be taken, no matter what the results of an event is. You breathe into the internal strength. And that strength that goes beyond knowing. When your mind gets in the way, because it will, you step out of it again. One more deep breath in. Fill yourself with breath and pause and hold. And then exhale through the mouth. Audible exhale. Let it go. And then inhale the breath again all the way in and hold. And then exhale, audible through the mouth. Let it go. Good. One more time. Inhaling all the way to the top of your breath. Pause and hold. Breathe in a little more and hold. Breathe in a little more and hold. And then exhale through the mouth, audible. Nice. And then bring the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm. We'll open with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. And let the eyes float open. Nice, you guys. You can release your hands and let yourself come forward onto hands and knees. I know the way to get you out of your minds. It's called sun salutes. Start with a little cat-cow. Telling you though, vinyasa, move your mind, move your body. You will get out of that feeling that your thoughts are all that you've got. Good. A little cat-cow, warm up the spine. I think always when there's a lot of stress in my mind about real world stuff, is I generally go to the Ramayana, because it's a story about how you have to live in the world, whether you like it or not. You've got to live in it. Good. Come back to stillness, please. Stretch the right arm out wide to the right. Slide the arm behind your left wrist. Right shoulder finds the floor. Turn your gaze. Walk the left arm forward to straight. Thread the needle. And so the Ramayana is the story of Ram, who's born to be king. Like he's literally God born in human form. Doesn't know it through most of the story, but he's Vishnu. And he's born with the purpose of, he's meant to become king. And on the eve of when he's supposed to be crowned, because of a whole lot of political shenanigans, he gets told, you're not going to be king. You're being sent into the forest for 14 years. You're being exiled. Go away. And so he does, but this was the real purpose of his life, because in the forest, he comes in through many, many adventures into contact with a great demon. And that was the purpose of his real incarnation, was to defeat this demon, reduce suffering in the world. Come back up to hands and knees, switch to the other side. Take your left arm out wide, slide behind the right wrist, left shoulder finds the floor. Take the right arm forward straight. Breathing through your whole spine. So you're pulling back through the tops of the thighs. Keep your shins anchored to the floor. Even if your toes are tucked, that's fine. But push into your feet like you're going to bring your shins to the floor. Good. Nice. And it's on this journey in the forest or in the jungle that Ram meets Hanuman. And Hanuman is our representation of how to maintain faith in the world, even when we have no idea how to do what we're being asked to do, because he's asked at one point to jump over the ocean. And he's like, how the heck am I going to do that? I'm just a monkey. But he does, right? He remembers, his attention is drawn to the remembering that he's the son of the wind god. He uses the wind to carry him across the ocean. Come back up to hands and knees. Right, so this is the great power that we have, is faith. Good, a little bit more cat-cow. Lift and curl, lengthen and curl. A little faster than you did before, maybe. So you're working that place behind the heart. So you twisted and threaded the needle, and now you're moving it forward and back, working that place behind the heart. Stay flexible. Good. So it's that great faith that Hanuman has that gets Ram through very dark days where he wonders about the meaning of his life and, just wants to go home. And then he finally gets to go home, and guess what? It's more political shenanigans, because that's what it means to be king. Come back to center, please. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. Even more, that's what it means to be human, right? Emotional shenanigans. Good. Walk your feet forward to your hands, please. Standing forward fold. Beautiful. Pressing into the feet, bend your knees just a little bit, drop into your pelvis and start to roll up your spine one vertebra at a time, really paying attention to the lift at the front of your pelvis as your tail drops, articulating each vertebra so you really get into the roundness of your back as you come up to stand. Good. And as you come up to stand, tops of the thighs float back, collarbones lift wide. Beautiful. Nice, you guys. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Deep breath in. Exhale, bow forward, fingertips find the floor or the front of the legs. Inhale, lift up, lengthen halfway. Good. Exhale, bow deeply, navel to spine. Step your right leg back behind you, please. Drop the knee. Inhale the arms up to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Deep breath in, heart up. Nice. Release the hands to the floor, please. Lift the back knee, step back, plank pose, upward push-up. That's your inhale. Lower down slow, find your belly. Good, that's your exhale. Inhale, rise up cobra, lift head, neck, and chest. Nice, exhale, downward facing dog. Good, right foot steps forward between the hands. Left foot comes forward to meet it. Exhale all the way, forward fold. Good, inhale, take the arms around and up. Remember to support the spine. Good, exhale, hands together at the heart. Nice. That's where you add your mantra, your intention, your prayer, whatever it is that you want to send out to the world with your breath. You add it here. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Good. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, fold deeply, navel to spine. Step left leg back, drop the knee, arms to the sky. Anjaneyasana. Lift up through the side ribs. Awesome. Release the hands, please. Lift the back knee, step back to plank. Inhale. Lower down to your belly. Exhale. Rise up, cobra. Inhale. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Right foot comes forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Good. Inhale the arms around and up, come to stand. Exhale, hands come together at the heart. Add your prayer. Good. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow deeply. Step the right leg back behind you. Drop the knee, arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Deep breath in. Pull up higher through your ribs and drop lower into your hips. Good. Release the hands. Lift the back knee. Step back plank. Lower down slow. That's your exhale. Rise up cobra. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Inhale. Left foot steps forward. Forward fold. Bow. Exhale. Good. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Beautiful. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Whatever your stress is, pour it into your breath. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, bow forward. Good. Left leg steps back behind you. Drop the knee, arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Lift taller. Get really long through your spine and drop into your hips. Good. Hands to the floor. Lift the back knee. Step back, plank pose. Inhale. Lower down slow. Exhale. Rise up cobra. Inhale. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands. That's your inhale. Right foot steps forward, standing forward fold. Exhale completely. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, hands together at the heart. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway. Exhale, bow deeply. Right leg steps back behind you. Drop the knee, arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. You keep doing your work. You lift your heart a little higher every time. Nice. Release the hands down to the floor. Lift the back knee, step back plank. Inhale the breath. Exhale, lower down slow. Inhale, rise up cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Inhale. Left foot steps forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Exhale. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, hands come together at the heart. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lift and lengthen halfway, navel to spine. Exhale, bow, navel still to your spine. Step your left leg back, drop the knee, arms to the sky. Good. Again, you're lifting up and open more. Don't get tired. Release the hands down to the floor. Lift the back knee, step back, plank pose. Or if you are getting tired, get more present. Lower down slow. That's how you get through this. You get more present. Rise up cobra. Lift head, neck, and chest. Don't tune out. Downward facing dog. Exhale. It's when you tune out that you get hurt. Step the left foot forward between the hands. Inhale. Right foot comes forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Exhale. Inhale the arms around and up. Exhale, hands come together at the heart. Good. Inhale, sweep the arms around and up. Bend your knees, drop back to chair. Exhale. Good. Deep breath in. Release the hands to the floor, straighten the legs and bow. Exhale. Step your right leg back, drop the heel, warrior one. Heel to 45 degrees, take the arms to the sky. Good. Deep breath in. Release the hands down to the floor. Good. Lift the back heel, step back, downward facing dog. Slide forward to plank. Lower down slow. Rise up cobra, lift head, neck, and chest. You can always skip a vinyasa if you need to. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Right foot steps forward between the hands. Left foot comes forward to meet it, standing forward fold. Good. Bend your knees, drop your sit bones, chair, sweep the arms up. Nice. Come all the way to stand. Good. Exhale, hands to the heart. Yeah, don't forget that part. Inhale, sweep the arms up to the sky. Exhale, bend your knees, drop back to chair. Good. Release the hands down to the floor, straighten the legs and bow. Exhaling. Step your left leg back, drop the heel 45 degrees, warrior one, arms to the sky. Same attitude of can you get really deep into your pelvis, hips moving towards the floor as your chest lifts up. Good. Spin the heel up, please. Release the hands to the floor. Step back, downward facing dog. I'm giving you a little break. We normally step back, straight back to plank. Come forward to plank. Lower down slow. Good. Rise up cobra, lift head, neck, and chest. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Right foot steps forward to meet it, standing forward fold. Bend your knees, drop your sit bones low for chair. Take the arms up alongside your ears. Good. Come all the way up to stand, reach, and exhale, hands come together at the heart. Where is your mind still? Inhale the arms up to the sky. Only 45 more minutes of class, I promise. Bend the knees, drop back, chair. Good. And now something different. Bring your hands to heart center, prayer twist, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Good. Squeeze in. Nice. Come back to center, arms up, still in chair. Good. Prayer twist the other way. Bring the hands to heart center, left elbow to the outside of the right knee. Yeah. Come back to center, arms up in chair. Good. Release the hands to the floor, straighten the legs and bow. Nice job. Right leg steps back behind you. Drop the heel 45 degrees. Warrior one, arms to the sky. Deep breath in. Good. Hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Deep breath in. Exhale, bow inside the front thigh. Take the arms up and over any amount. Good. And then inhale yourself all the way back up. Please keep the hands where they are. Spin your heel up so your hips face straight ahead. And then come into warrior three. Send your heart forward. Step that right leg up parallel to the floor. Hands still bound. Good. So the chest has to lift in alignment with that thigh. Good. Don't let your heart drop too low. Pull your ribs in. Yeah. And then start to bow forward like you're going to take your head to the front shin. Bow, 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 bow. And at the last second, release the hands down to the floor, standing split. Nice. Good job, Joanne. Good, everybody. Awesome, you guys. Step that right leg back behind you to lunge. Step back, downward facing dog. Good. Come forward to plank pose, upward push up. Lower down slow, coming through knees first if you need. Stay with your breath. Inhale, head, neck, and chest, cobra. Good. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right? What defines a sun salute? Right foot steps forward between the hands. Left foot steps forward to meet it, standing forward fold. Beautiful. Bend your knees, drop your sit bones low for chair. Sweep the arms up alongside your ears. Good. Come all the way up to stand. Exhale, hands come together at your heart. What is your prayer? Where is your mind? Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Bend your knees, drop your sit bones back to chair. Hands at heart center, prayer twist, right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Good. Again, let these poses get easier as you go through them. Don't make them harder. Come back to center, arms alongside your ears. Good. Bring hands to heart center, prayer twist the other way. Use your breath, exhaling onto the twist. Again, it becomes easier when your mind is not attached to the work. How hard is it? Don't let your mind get stuck there. Come back to center, arms alongside your ears. Fingertips to the floor, straighten the legs and bow. Good. Modify if you need to, but do the work. Step the left leg back behind you. Drop the heel 45 degrees, warrior one. I know. Still do really good warrior ones, you guys. Send that outer left hip forward. Back hip spins forward. There you go. Hands back behind you. Interlace your fingers at the low spine. Deep breath in. Back thigh really engaged there, Sarah. Turn your hip forward again. Bow inside the front thigh. There you go. Arms up any amount. Good. Stay anchored in that back heel. Nice, you guys. Good. Come all the way back up. Keep your hands bound, please. Spin your back heel up so you're more in a high lunge. And then take your chest forward. Step up, warrior three. Left leg comes parallel to the floor. Good. Still reaching back through the arms, but reaching forward with the armpits. Flex that foot a lot, Emily. Good. Joanne, flex your foot even more. Power of your inner thigh here, you guys. Lift that inner thigh higher. Good. And then start to drop your chest forward, forward, forward as you lift your inner thigh higher. The power of that forward fold comes from how high you lift your thigh. Good. Release the hands. Last minute down to standing split. Good. Step back to lunge. Nice. Step back, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Slide forward to plank pose. Lower down slow. Rise up, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left foot steps forward between the hands. Right foot steps forward to meet it. Standing forward fold. Bend the knees, drop your sit bones low for chair, arms up. Good. Come all the way up to stand. Hands to heart center. And then release the hands alongside you, eyes closed. Let your mind go somewhere. Or better yet, notice if you have stepped out of that state of too much to handle, right? The mind gets lost in abstract. It gets lost in unseen. It gets lost in things that can't be controlled or calibrated. The power of that kind of flow through your breath, through your body, is there's no time to get lost in that if you're just doing the work. So that's what we practice, right? What actually connects you to the feeling of meaningfulness in your life? It's not the outcome of the events. You do your work. You tap into that faith that you can do far more than you think you're capable of, if you're asked. So if the world asks you, again, you step up and you do your work. Don't sweat the rest. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Exhale, bow forward. No more sun salutes, I promise. Step your right leg back just enough so that your legs can be straight, both feet flat to the floor, Parsvottanasana. Good. Finding the breath. Nice, you guys. That story of Ram, the story of Hanuman, we're always told that these are stories about us having no idea how to live the life that's in front of us and really just hoping for the knowledge of, okay, if I can just get through this, all the hard stuff is done. Well, maybe, maybe not. Come up on the heel of that front foot, please. So really squeeze into your low belly, lift the toes of the left foot, and drag down and back. Nice. Good. And then release the toes of that foot. Bend the left knee. Walk your fingertips straight ahead. Step up, standing split. Nice. Scooping into the belly. Beautiful. And then step back again to that Parsvottanasana position. So step the feet back so that you can take both legs to straight. Good. And then walk your hands slightly back so that your hands are behind your front heel. So walk your hands back. You can turn your fingers to face back if you'd like. So it's whatever's more comfortable for you. But I want you to get a little deeper in towards that front thigh. And then keep drawing the hips back in space. Good. And then you're going to stay this low. Again, you can keep blocks under your hands, but I don't want you to move your hands if you don't absolutely have to. Look slightly forward, lean onto that left leg again, float your right leg back up to standing split. Stay super close to your front shin. Good. Yeah. So you've got to really use the power of your pelvis and that back thigh to lift the leg. You can't just use momentum. Good. Nice. The more things are difficult, you become more present. Don't get tired, become more present. Good. Release that leg back down. Parsvottanasana. Walk the hands forward. Nice. Step back, downward facing dog. Deep breath in. Drop your knees to the floor, please. Child's pose. Your faces are priceless. Breathe deeply. Yeah. It's a crazy thing, you know. So life keeps happening. Whether we like it or not, tomorrow is coming. And so the only real question is, what are you going to do with it? Whatever the circumstances is, what do you intend to do with this time that you have that is your embodiment, that is your life? What are you going to do? You're going to get up and you're going to do your work as best you can. You're going to smile and you're going to laugh and you're going to find things that are beautiful. You're going to remind others to find things in their lives that are beautiful. And you're also going to cry. You're going to get discouraged. You're going to learn new things. You're going to get up and you're going to try again. It's the anticipation that causes the suffering. So don't anticipate. Walk yourself back up to hands and knees, downward facing dog. Right, I say that when, you know, my mind has been crazy all day too. So we're all practicing together. Right foot steps forward between the hands, please. Step the left foot in just a little bit so both legs can come to straight, Parsvottanasana. Same pose that we just did on second side. Make sure your feet are hip width apart, so not straight behind each other. Good. So like you're walking on a railroad track instead of a tightrope. Nice. There's a subtle squeezing of the feet towards each other. There's a drawing of the back hip forward. So your right hip, your top hip, front hip can move back and wide. Good. And then start to come up on the heel of that front foot. So lifting the toes, and dragging down and back, watching that as you dig down and back, that you're not pressing back through the back of your knees. So you're not hyperextending. Good. But you're really pulling your thigh up, up, up into the pelvis. Press your butt towards the sky. Good. And then release that foot down to the floor, please. Walk your fingers straight ahead. Bend that right knee just a little bit. Step up, standing split. Nice. Flex that foot that's in the air. Yeah, and you're lifting from the inner thigh. So if you're thinking that it's all about somehow your back or somewhere else that has to do that lifting, it's not, right? How deep you can go with that forward fold has a lot to do with how much that leg is actively lifting. Awesome. Step all the way back, Parsvottanasana. Bring that foot back to the floor. Soft landings. Good. And then start to walk your feet back. Walk your hands back behind your front heel. Good. So again, you can keep blocks underneath your hands, no problem. I just want you to walk your arms back so that your weight distribution is no longer forward on your hands. So the whole point is that you're walking back so that there has to be a little bit more awareness of what your legs are doing. Good. And then leaning forward, look slightly forward just to make sure you don't knee yourself in the face. Take that left leg back up to standing split. Keep your hands where they are. Stay deeply folded in. Flex that foot. Again, the inner thigh has to find its power. Good. You're dropping the chest. The more you drop, the more there is accessibility to maybe bring that leg higher. Awesome. Nice, you guys. And then step all the way back, please. Beautiful. Walk your hands forward. Good. Step back, downward facing dog. Nice. And then bring the right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Bring that knee forward and wide for pigeon, right knee towards your right wrist. How many poses that are torturous can I string together? A lot, apparently. Flex that foot a lot, please. Send that left hip spinning forward and then walk yourself straight ahead. Come on down to your forearms or a block underneath your forehead. Yeah. You know, we teach the way or our general joke is that we always teach what we need. So I'm giving you my own personal brand of physical therapy that I would do for myself. Because if I'm really present in those poses that demand all of my attention, it helps my mind go somewhere else. Takes me out of that space of my mind running things. So maybe it's doing that for you too. Maybe you're just finding the opportunity to breathe a little deeper. Good. Right. Yoga talks about faith in a way that's a little different than we usually hear it, because it's not faith in a unknown that's going to make things easier for us, but it's faith in the imperviousness of that inner self, that inner self, capital S. Right? The victoriousness of that self that says no matter what is happening in the world, is that self will continue to rise. In the Kundalini tradition, the word for it, or closest similar translation, Chardi Kala, which means constantly rising optimism. So it's not faith in something that is suspected, it's faith in something that's known, is that self exists in you and it will continue to rise. And it's just finding its way through all of that mixed up craziness that is the activity of the mind. So the more you feel it, step out of your mind, the more that's what you live in, is the faith that whatever comes, you will meet it and you'll rise. Good. Slowly walk the hands back up, please. Sit towards that right hip. Swing your left leg around in front of you. Good. If the right knee can stay bent, keep it bent for balance. If you need to stretch it out straight, you can. Bring the left knee up and towards your chest. Good. You're reaching with your right hand for the baby toe edge of your left foot, and you're going to send that left leg straight forward in front of you. Yeah, straight out in line with the hip. Twist the belly to the left. Good. Left hand or left arm extends back behind you. So Joanne, just switch your hands. There you go. Good. You got to pull that baby toe edge of your foot back and wide, and you got to make sure that that leg is not falling in towards the midline of your mat. If it's crossing towards the middle of your body, that's your pelvis saying, I don't want to really stretch. Switch your hands, Lisa. So you're twisting. Yep. Right hand to left. Yep. You got it. Good. Lisa, switch your hands back to where they were. Good. Lisa S., you're good. Elisa, you're good. Awesome. Come back to center, please. Deep breath in. Leg is still lifted. Good. And then release that leg, please. Cross the ankles, roll forward to hands and knees. I know that was a hard one too. Downward facing dog. Yeah, you got me on this track where I'm now not choosing anything that's easy. Sorry. Left leg comes up and back, down dog split. Bring that knee forward and wide. Pigeon pose. Knee towards your left wrist. Make sure that that shin, as it crosses, that the foot has the ability to still stay active. So you're pushing the shin into the floor. Good. Back hip spin slightly forward. And then find your resting pigeon, walking forward onto your elbows. Again, blocks are great. Block under the forehead is nice. Beautiful. All right, so pretty much all of the main characters in the Ramayana are asked to do things that are seemingly impossible, to put up with things that you're like, man, that just seems unendurable, right? Having your whole life taken from you, in one moment. And then while he is in exile, right, his wife goes with him and she gets kidnapped by the demon. That's what draws them together, right? As she gets kidnapped, his wife, Ram's wife. And so meanwhile, while he's journeying all over, India to try and find her, because he doesn't know where she is when she gets kidnapped, is she is enduring, being psychologically and emotionally tortured by a terrible individual. So she is dealing with something that is unendurable. Ram is dealing with something unendurable. Hanuman is asked to do impossible things. And yet somehow by the end of the story, everything comes together. And while everything succeeds, no one is fully happy, right? No one is fully in a place of this is really how I want it to be. Because they go back home and again, political shenanigans. Ram's wife ends up being rejected by the populace and she gets exiled. So now he's alone. But still, what is his work? His work is to take care of his people. And so it's said in some variations, they say the day that she is exiled is the day that Ram, the individual, disappears and there's only Ram who is king, right? He takes on that persona and says, I will do my work, but his heart is somewhere else. So as yogis, we're asked to, if we don't have to make that choice, that we keep our heart really present with the work that we're doing, that we don't lose that. Because if your heart disappears from the way that you're living, is then we fall into that, I need things to be the way that I want them to be, otherwise I give in to despair, right? We give up on hope. So the practice is not making things come out the right way. The practice is, can I stay with faith? Can I stay with that rising optimism? I don't let it disappear. And I do my work, even when it sucks and I don't want to. Deep breath in, deeper breath out. Good. And then walk your hands back up, please. Sit towards that left hip, swing the right leg around in front of you. I don't know if the way I'm telling this story seems optimistic or not, but it's meant to be. So if that left knee can stay bent, keep it bent. If not, take the leg out to straight. And then you're bringing that right knee up and towards your chest and reaching for the twist. Left hand reaches for the baby toe edge of the foot, and then you're extending the leg straight in front of you. So it's coming straight out from the hip. Turn your belly to the right. Right arm extends back behind you. If you need to have fingertips on the floor for balance, you can, but don't lean into that hand. Keep rolling towards the front edge of your sit bones. You got it. So Lisa S, move your foot a little wider towards the right, towards your outer hip. There you go. Nice, you guys. Good. Keep lifting that leg a little higher. Even if you're fully straight, I want you to keep lifting. Good. Nice, Susan. Nice, Sarah. Nice, Laura. Beautiful. Come back to center, please. Leg is still lifted. Inhale the breath. Awesome. And then bend the knee, please. Good job. Bring bottoms of the feet together. Let the knees go wide. Baddha Konasana. This pose is not a hard one. Inhale the breath. For some people it is. Exhale, bow forward. It's not high on the list of poses that people feel tortured in, though. Good. And wherever you are, can you relax into this posture? Let your weight drop. Good. And then walk yourself back up, please. Nice job. Cross the ankles, roll forward to hands and knees, downward facing dog. Good. Bring your right leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Beautiful. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Nice. Drop the back knee. Use a blanket there if you need. Anjaneyasana. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. And then hands to heart center, please. Prayer twist. Left elbow to the outside of your right knee. Good. So there's a feeling of pushing wide here, that it's not just a forward and back pose, but it's a side to side pose. So both inner thighs are pushing wide so that you create stability from that pushing. Nice. And then heart goes to the sky. Good. Come back up to center. Inhale the arms up. Beautiful. And then release the hands down to the floor, please. Good. Walk yourself back until you come into Ardha Virasana. So the left leg is going to stay folded underneath you. You can place a block underneath your seat. So it's half hero's pose. So you're walking yourself back until your butt comes to the floor inside your left heel, or it comes onto a block or 2 blocks, whatever you need. Good. So your right leg should be extended. Your left leg should be folded under you. Nice. Good. Top of the left foot flat to the floor. Knee should be straight forward in line with the hip. Yeah, keep walking back, Susan. So you're actually sitting on your sit bones. There you go. Yep. This is how I test how well you guys remember names of poses. I say half Virasana and you look at me like I'm crazy. Inhale the arms up to the sky. Good. Little twist over that right leg and then bow forward. Believe it or not, I'm choosing very symbolic poses for you, right? Anjaneyasana is named for Hanuman's mother. Virasana is often considered to be one of Hanuman's poses as well. The hero's pose. And again, what makes a hero is not necessarily that they're able to save everyone, but that they have a desire to do that great work and that they have a commitment to doing it. Maybe beyond the confines of their own personal gain, they have a desire to do that. So you connect to the inner desire that you have to have an impact in the world, whatever that is. And you get up and you do it. Good. Walk yourself back up, please. Nice. Use your hands so you're coming up out of that pose. Draw that your right heel back in. Good. Lift up out of the pose, please. Come back downward facing dog. You got it. Beautiful. Pedal your feet, wiggle your hips. And then take your left leg up and back behind you, down dog split. Good. Step that foot forward between the hands, lunge. Drop the back knee, use a blanket if you'd like. Inhale the arms to the sky, Anjaneyasana. Good. Hands to heart center, prayer twist. Right elbow comes to the outside of the left knee. To come into that twist, you've got to almost round into your back a little bit more. If you just push forward through your ribs and through the front of your pelvis, it's going to continue to feel like your back is too short and overworked. So round into your back rib cage, pull your belly away from your thigh, and then press both inner thighs wide. Good. And then rotate the heart. And then look like you're not miserable here. There you go. Come back to center, arms to the sky. Good. I know it's hard in life sometimes to look like you're not miserable here. Release the hands down. Start to walk yourself back. So taking your hips back till you come into half Virasana, Ardha Virasana. So you are sitting with your right leg folded under you, left leg extended straight out in front of you. Your pelvis should be pretty level though. So if that's not happening with your hips on the floor, try and make sure that you have something underneath you. Good, a block or a blanket or something. So Joanne, I would put a block underneath your butt. Yeah, there you go. Nice, arms to the sky. Good, so that's a full sitting up. So you're pulling up through your lower back, you're pulling up through your pelvis. Little twist over that left leg and then bow forward, please. Good. So Kristen, just watch that well, I can't see actually the angle of your knee to your hip, but dig down through the heel, looks pretty good. Yeah, so just make sure that the leg is really fully active, pulling up into your pelvis. Good. Nice, you guys. Beautiful. And then slowly release, walking your hands back in, please. Good. Again, bend that left knee so that you can push into your left foot. So as you come up out of the pose, you have both legs to help you. And then lift your butt up off of the block or wherever it's resting, downward facing dog. Beautiful. Good. Right leg comes up and back, down dog split. Beautiful. Bring that knee forward towards your nose, round into your back, squeeze in. Yeah. And then take it up and back, down dog split. Beautiful. And then bring it forward again, squeeze in, armpits over your wrist, squeeze, 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 squeeze. and then take it up and back. Nice. And then bring it forward again, squeezing the knee in towards the chest, round, 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 round. Look slightly forward. Step that right foot between the hands, please. Good. Drop the back knee. Yep. Move your left hip back in space, please. Take your right leg forward, straight, come up on the heel. Good. Ardha Hanumanasana, half Hanuman, half split. Walking the torso forward any amount. I know the minute I mentioned Hanuman, if you thought we weren't going to do Hanumanasana, I don't know what to say. I'm pretty predictable that way. Good. I am sorry that most of you don't have a wall, so we can't do my favorite variation, the hanging Hanuman, but maybe I'll give you a chance for those of you who do have a wall later. You can do it. Good. Walk the hands back in slightly. Go for that full Hanuman. Start to send that right heel forward a little bit more. Tuck your back toes. Move your left knee back in space. Find any amount more of that split in both directions. You still got to squeeze your feet towards each other. Good. You still have to draw that back hip forward, forward, forward. Nice. Awesome, you guys. And then optional here, if you'd like, if you're pretty solidly comfortable, walk the hands slightly forward, start to twist a little bit, bring both hands to the baby toe side of that front foot. What? Why? Why? Because you can. Yeah, you breathe all the way into that side body through the hip. Intense pose. Good. And then slowly walk it all the way back in. Pull that right heel back in, back to lunge. Good job, Alice. Downward facing dog. Again, your faces are priceless. Especially good when you remember to let your priceless faces become smiles again. Nice. Good. Left leg before you give up. Left leg up and back, down dog split. Step that foot forward between the hands. Good. Drop the back knee. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't do the whole thing. So lift the back knee again. Take that left leg back and up behind you. Sorry. This is important. Bring the knee forward towards your elbows. Squeeze in round. Good. And then send it up and back behind you. It is important. It's building strength and it's also building awareness. Bring the knee forward, squeeze in. I'm not just doing it to be a pain. Good. And then take it up and back behind you. Nice. Third time, bring it forward, squeeze, round. Look slightly forward and then step your foot like it's weightless. No sound. Good job. And now drop the back knee. Send your right hip back in space. Good. Come up on the left heel. Good. Try and have both sides of your pelvis in line with each other. It might feel very frustrating because it means that your right leg will not be as far forward as maybe you think that it should be. But if you put your two hip points in line with each other, your pelvis will be much happier. Go for the happy pelvis any day. And then hands walk forward any amount towards the ankle. Good. And again, you're going to dig that heel down and drag back so you're not just falling into the back of the knee. And the pelvis is tilting. The pelvis is not able to tilt here, then it doesn't matter how low we try and drag our chest. It's not going to make a difference on the lower back. Good. I know. Stay with your breath. Stay with that feeling of faith that whatever comes, you will meet it. Eternally rising. Good. Nice, you guys. And then walk the hands back in, please. Bring that left heel back so you come back towards your lunge, Anjaneyasana. Well, you don't have to go that way. Sorry, we are going to full Hanuman. So in my mind, I like to go back to that. But either way, start to straighten that left leg again. If you bent it, move your right leg back, full Hanuman. Yeah. And that's the beauty, is you can get into the pose however you want. And then once you're there, just look like you're not miserable. Good, squeeze in. Again, Hanumanasana, the idea that you can become weightless if you really pull into that internal place. Your life can feel like it is without that sense of suffering if you're pulling into that internal faith. That's Hanuman. Good. If you want to, walk your hands towards that baby toe edge of your front foot, so you're coming into a little bit of a twist. So both hands to the outside edge. Yeah. Good. If you thought it was intense, I can think of more ways to make it more intense. Just saying. There's always more. Walk yourself back to center. Beautiful. Drag that heel back, please. So you come back towards the lunge as you release. Lift the back knee, step back, downward facing dog. Do the down dog because it's going to release the pelvis. Good. Let the legs settle. And then drop the knees and come into child's pose. Yeah. Is your mind exhausted yet? Did we get there? Almost. When things become very difficult, don't shut down. Become more present. Good. Then walk yourself back up, please. Nice. Come onto your backs. Yay. Good. And then bend your knees, plant your feet, please. You're just going to move in and out of bridge. So again, nothing too complicated. As you inhale, lift the hips up, stretch your arms up alongside your ears. So that's your inhale, lift the hips, take the arms up until your hands find the floor behind you. And then exhaling, releasing the hips down, releasing the arms down alongside the torso. Good. So you're just breathing in and out, inhaling, lifting the hips, lifting the arms, and exhaling, releasing the hips, releasing the arms. Good. Be conscious that as you're doing this, that you're not sending your weight onto your shoulders as you inhale. So you don't want to migrate on your mat. As you inhale, your hips are going straight up and your heels are dragging back. Good. And then as you exhale, your hips come down pretty much in the same place that they were before you lifted them. Good. It's really easy that when we lift up, we push into our feet and we push into our shoulders. So we actually move away from extending our spine. Nice, you guys. And the next time your hips find the floor, just rest there for a moment. If you want to let the knees drop wide into Baddha Konasana, you can. Otherwise, keep the feet flat. And find the breath. Stay with your own eternally rising optimistic self. And what we are promised is that whatever is happening this moment is it will continue to change. So whether you like it or you hate it, it's continuing to change. If your state of mind gets stuck in one place or another, then that's what you suffer with. So we're asked to stay in that state where we do what we can do and then we release the results, we let go. And whatever comes next, we begin again. Here's the skillful way that I can meet the world where it is. I can do it with the greatest intention and the greatest desire and the greatest skillfulness, and then I have to let go again. Good. And then bring the knees back in towards the chest, please. So two options here. One is to come into shoulder stand. That is one possibility. The other is if you're feeling real sassy and you have wall space and you want to come up and do my favorite version of Hanuman, which is the split on the wall, a split handstand on the wall, hanging split, then you can certainly do that. And I can talk you through that. So if you have wall space and you want to go upside down using the wall, you're welcome to do that. Otherwise, shoulder stand is my other suggestion if you want to invert on the floor. If you are just plain done with me and don't want to invert at all, a block underneath your seat in either bridge or supported shoulder stand, legs up, is great. Legs up the wall is also a great option if you have wall space and you want to. So if you're doing that hanging split, you're going to come onto hands and knees near your wall, and you're coming into downward facing dog, heels on the wall, toes on the floor. Good. And then you're going to take one leg up to the wall in a down dog split, toes tucked under. So you're pushing the flat of the ball of your foot against the wall. Good. And then you're going to really squeeze in there. You might have to walk your hands back slightly and then bring your armpits forward, really push into that foot that's on the wall, lift your hips up and let the other leg hang. Don't pull it up to the wall. Let it hang in the split. Good. And if you're in shoulder stand, optional here is to let one foot come down to the floor above the top of your head in a split. So not a full plow, it's like half plow. Good. You can play with the split that way too. Awesome. If you're on the wall, let that foot come down, please. Walk the hands back forward. Good. Take a breath. You got to do the second side though. Good. You can drop down to hands and knees if you need. If you're in shoulder stand, switching the split of your legs, it's great. Or if you're just happy staying where you are, stay where you are. Good. If you're doing handstand on the wall, try the other side, coming back to down dog, lifting that second leg up to the wall, pressing through the ball of your foot. Hands have to walk back a little bit so that you can bring your shoulders forward right on top of your wrists, and then really squeeze in, push your butt to the sky. Really beautiful, Alice. Great. Nice, Laura. Really good work, everybody in shoulder stand. Awesome. Good, Carolina. Nice, Harriet. Good. If you're in shoulder stand, bring both feet to the floor above the crown of your head for plow. Nice. If you're coming off of the wall, come on down, resting on hands and knees or in child's pose, or sitting on your heels is what I meant, either sitting on your heels or forehead to the floor. But really good. So lots of good inverting. And if you're in plow, take one more breath and then slowly begin to release, rolling down the spine, one vertebra at a time, bending the knees. Good, coming off of your block if that was your choice. Good. And if you were got up for your inversions, come back down to find yourself on your back. Good. Bringing the knees in towards the chest. Cross the right thigh on top of the left thigh. Stacking the knees, separating the feet. Knees in towards your chest. Good. Nice. Release and switch the legs. Please take the other leg on top. It's funny that somehow and it's bizarre to almost read this, but, the yogic cosmology says that creation goes through these, big eons of cycles, right? And that we always fall back into this cycle of being very confused, or where it seems like the darker aspects of our selves are on display, and that eventually moves back into the light, or back into the more dharmic, they call it, more balanced way of being. But it says that we are just on the upswing, the beginning of the upswing from that darkest period of history, or the darkest period of experience in this cycle. And so this is the time when it's most important that everybody meditate. Unwind your legs, please. Bring your knees in towards your chest. So that might just be the work that you do every day, is not that you have to physically sit to meditate. Bring your knees wide, happy baby, because a seated meditation might not be what works for you. but that you can be practicing that concept of meditation by continuously letting go of your attachment to results. You can be practicing meditation by saying, I do the best that I can, and then I let go of the way that it unfolds. I keep myself free to maneuver, to navigate. So now is the time that's important that part of your work is everybody meditate. Whether you're doing it seated or you're doing it during the activities of your life, or both, even better. Good. Bring the knees back in towards the chest, please. Scoot your hips over to the left, drop your knees to the right, spinal twist. And what's bizarre about that is that if you look at some of the other cycles, other parts of the cycle, is that it's said that in those times, not everybody needs to meditate, right? It's not important. And right now we're like, how can it not be important? It doesn't make any sense, but that's how it's written. But you're here now. Everybody meditate. Good. Bring your knees back to center, please. Scoot your hips over to the left. Sorry. Hips over to the right. Drop your knees to the left. Our correct body parts. Breathe into your lower back here. Again, where are you breathing when you're twisting? Are you breathing with a sense of trying to make something happen? Breathing into places where the movement is hard? Or are you breathing into release? Good. Bring yourself back to center, please. Squeeze the knees in. Bring your forehead up to meet your knees. Hug. Yeah. And then go ahead and release the shoulders. Stretch your legs out in front of you, arms alongside you, palms up. And as you settle yourself for Shavasana, I want you to just squeeze and release everything. So flex your feet and release, and squeeze your calves and release, and squeeze your thighs, clench and release, squeeze your butt and release, squeeze into your belly and release, squeeze into your upper back, your shoulders, squeeze and release, squeeze your arm muscles and release, squeezing your hands, your fingers make fists and release. Again, shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears, squeeze and release, maybe even squeezing into your jaw, squeeze your eyes shut, squeeze and release. And then squeeze everything from your toes to the top of your head. Squeeze your hair, squeeze, and then release. And rest in Shavasana. Very gently bring the awareness back to your breath. Again, to let the body stretch and move in whatever ways serve it well. As you're ready, draw your knees in towards your chest. Roll to your right side. And take a moment there before you begin to push the floor away to come back to an upright seated position. Bringing the hands together in front of the heart center, palm to palm, or whatever mudra has been serving you. So we're asked in the yogic tradition or the yogic lifestyle or philosophy, whatever you want to call it, to let go of the results. Because when we hang on results, it takes us away from that feeling of that ongoing resilience, that ongoing openness, that ongoing ability to keep rising. So instead of the rise and the fall and the rise and the fall and the rise and the fall that the mind does when it's attached to how things are happening, can you look inside and reach for that inner well of faith, rising optimism that says, whatever the state of the world, I will get up this day and every day and I will do my work to the best of my ability. And I know that that work will include tears, and it will include joy, and it will include fear, and it will include all of those things that are coming and not coming. And I'm going to do my work anyway. I'm going to do the best I can, and then I'm going to let go of the results. So as you are ending this practice, my suggestion to you is don't go and check anything. Go hug someone. Go hug your dog. Go have a cup of tea. Go do things that are meaningful and real, that bring your mind to a place that says, this is my life. Whatever anxiety is happening in my mind is, that's not my life. This is my life. What's meaningful? So do a lot of that. And when there's something to react to, go ahead and react. But until then, stay with what's real and meaningful. That's how we step out of our minds. We'll close with the sound of Om. Deep breath in. Sliding the thumbs up to the space between the eyebrows. Namaste, everybody. Thank you guys so much. Have a great rest of your night, a great rest of your week, no matter what happens. Great rest of your week. And I will see you soon.